Go on with it.
Yes. Again, a pleasant and wonderful morning to the members of the media. I want to thank you for attending this conference. I am Ernesto Raymond Kiza. I am the representative for the Movement for Social Justice in the upcoming general elections 2020, August 10th, for the constituency of Point Fortin. We call this conference for a simple reason. While the campaigning is going on and everyone is busy engaging in the political activities to either retain office, to be returned to office, or to get into office for the first time, there are some serious matters in the public safety and that have public interests that are going under the radar in the constituency of Point Fortin. And I will start first with a matter that deals direct with crime and criminality. For the last month, there has been a serial rapist on the loose in the Springtrace Ward Road area. So far, based on my information, he has claimed 2 victims and he has shot 1 resident. This matter was drawn to my attention on my Facebook page 2 days ago by one of our supporters. And the person has indicated that while politicians are campaigning, some of the critical issues that are affecting the people of Point Fortin now are not given highlight and are not given attention. So this morning I'm calling on the Commissioner of Police. I know he's highest in the food chain, in the authority chain, sorry, and the Inspector Alexander, who hails from Point Fortin, and whoever is in charge of the Southwestern Division, to please update the public as to the situation with this gentleman. Well, I shouldn't even call him a gentleman because of what he's doing. But the persons living in the Warden Road, Springtrace, and by extension Point Fortin itself, they are very concerned. They are scared, particularly women. They are scared and worried for their safety. And we would like to have a statement, an update, something that the public can feel assured that this gentleman is being removed and he has been apprehended for his crimes. So we await that. We would like to see a heightened presence taking place, and again, if at the time of this conference the gentleman has already been apprehended, well, thank you. If not, we are demanding an update to have this gentleman removed from terrorizing the residents of Ward Road and Springtrace in immediate and in general in the constituency of Point Fortin. That's the first issue. The second issue, which is the more important in a general public safety manner, is that a couple of weeks ago it was reported, matter of public information, that tank 27 would have been ruptured, thereby causing a whole spill in the Point Fortin area. If you travel now to Point Fortin, the access road from the Point Fortin police station to Clifton Beach, the same access road also goes to the old Trinman Marine Base. That road is still blocked off. They are still engaged in cleaning up the spill. We understand that a lot of damages were committed and ensued as a result of that spill. I understand that there is a lot of negotiations going on with the neighbors there with this Atlantic LNG, because a lot of the equipment and so on was damaged because of the flooding and the oily residue that would have been as a result of that rupture. Lo and behold, I have received reports that on Saturday, another tank 65, went into a similar situation. Now, I cannot say directly because the reports are still coming in and it's not verified, but what I can say, a confirmation that there was a big oil spill in that surrounded and that encompassed tank 65. The reason why I'm raising these issues is that long before the company decided to be restructured, long before they decided to send on workers and so on, there were serious infrastructure issues that were not addressed, that remain plaguing up to this point in time. And we are saying that the regulatory authorities, the Ministry of Energy, the OSH Authority, the EMA, Environmental Management Authority, and so on, I have not heard any public utterances. The public is not aware of some of the things that have been in place, that have been put in place, to mitigate the possibilities of disaster. But lo and behold, we are operating with the Heritage Petroleum Company as if it's a private company. And it's not, it's a state company. And the public deserves to know what are the plans in place to repair these dilapidated and outdated and very corroded and so on facilities, and how and what is the plan to mitigate should an incident take place, like Tank 27. And in that regard, I wish to highlight the following structures that remain under a state of disrepair that is causing a critical safety issue for the workers, for the little bit of workers that's working in that offshore area there, which is offshore Soldado. Those locations are Platform 18, Platform 27, Platform 14, Platform 16, Platform 2, Platform 9, Platform 8, Platform 7, Platform 5, Platform 13. These platforms have an average of 5 wells that they service, and the issue now is because of the infrastructure problems on these platforms, the access to these wells have become unsafe and a great challenge to the little bit of workers who now have to service these locations, who now work for the main contractor. It has been further alleged that said contractor has sent home a proliferation of safety officers, because the issue that has come to our attention is that when you raise safety issues, you are sent home. Now, I remember not too long ago, when a pin drop, those regulatory agencies would have swooped down to Petrotrin or Trinma to investigate. We are calling on the EMA, the OSH Authority, and the Ministry of Energy to examine the veracity of my claims. We have locations, for example, in Cluster 22, where the 2,500 PSI line is down, the gas line that is. The compressor line is down, and that we are talking here, on average, those 5 wells on average for those locations here, an average of 3,000 barrels per day, not being able to reach the tank farm. In addition to that, the oil to shore line, which is the famous Southwest Soldado, was ruptured a couple months ago. That is not in the public domain, and again I challenge the Heritage Petroleum Company to examine the veracity of my claims this morning here. These brothers and sisters who are working in those locations, they are working under tremendous stress, tremendous strain, but they are working in an unsafe environment. And no amount of politics, no amount of public relations, no amount of talk will be able to account for if indeed the ultimate happens and there's a top event or a disaster that leads to environmental degradation or worse again, loss of human life. I'm calling on Heritage Petroleum Company to come clean and to tell the public what's going on, what is the strategy to protect the immediate workers who are working in the environment right now, and what are we going to do should something happen, as what would have happened with Tank 27. I'm saying this also in the context that this is politics time, because some people might say, well, what is this all the reason now? No. The MSJ, long before any elections, have been raising matters in the public interest for the last 10 years. I myself, in another capacity, would have highlighted some of these things many years ago, but nobody took us up. This is the time when everybody is listening, so we choose to do this now, and hope that in doing this, action will be taken by the relevant authorities to avoid a disaster in the interest of the public. Yes? As I close, I wish to also highlight, and I didn't highlight it before, that there continues to be the concern as to what is happening in the land operations as well. where I got reports that they are painting over corroded lines, they are just making it look pretty and nice, but it is a disaster waiting to happen. Again, I'm saying, please, Point Fortin is one of the breadbasket communities in terms of the constituency. And at the end of the day, we would like to see Point Fortin be given the respect it deserves. Hence the reason why the MSJ is saying that it is time we vote people before politics. Put people before politics. And to avoid having now the party's interests be given priority over the voters' interests after election. But even though the context of this press conference is to highlight what is taking place, given this heightened exposure of all of the national issues that are going on. So, indeed, I want to thank the members of the media for covering this press conference this morning, and I will field any questions that you all may have at this point in time. Yes?
I think the explanation is very straightforward. On the political hostile law, you're fighting Point Fortin.
So,
What happening in Point Fortin?
well, are you talking in terms of the campaign?
Yes, the campaign.
Well, the campaign has been going very well, Mr. Very, very well. But as I told your colleagues earlier on, sentiments don't win elections, votes win elections. So, sentiments has been great, and having been elections officer for MSJ for the last 6 years, I'm not moved totally by sentiments. I'm happy because nobody cussing me and running me or anything like that. A matter of fact, the traction, the sentiments on social media in terms of the reach and the views and so on is excellent. However, we have been focusing over the last 2-3 weeks in fine-tuning our machinery, because as you know, elections are won on election day. And we are not underestimating the fact that we are fighting against two juggernauts, two very powerful entities, red and yellow. A matter of fact, the two gentlemen that are going on, they are fellas that I know personally, and they are excellent young men. So in Point Fortin, they won't get much of the mudslinging taking place. We're focusing on the issues. We know we have to fight in two parties, and we are gaining some good traction, but at the end of the day, it's only August 10th. We'll tell the story on August 10th.
What is somebody concerned? I mean, what is the most of the needs in Point Fortin? What they are asking for?
Well, I can answer that straight. The same things that most people in stronghold constituencies of the world are asking for. Employment, access to fair employment, fair and free from fair employment, sustainable at that. They are talking about our utilities. I went to Reservoir Hill, and a lady who lives in a community, a family that about 6 houses here, and where she lives is about 500 feet from where the main line went on the main road. And she has been asking for just a connection. She has lights, copper lights, have a street light in the street of Canada. And she has been asking for about 10 years just to get a connection from the main road to where she is there. 500 feet a line, and it goes ahead. So access to water, proper maintenance of our roads from as far as Otahiti straight down to Ikakas, and as I jokingly said in another media house yesterday, maybe we need to have elections every year, Mr. Ida. If we have general elections every year, then politicians will perform, because in the last 3-4 months before the year finish, road will be paving, action will be taking place. Because if you go down Point now, there's action to bad. Road paving, thing up, all 1 o'clock in the morning, you see these massive trucks rolling in Point Fortin, and they're up there, the scraper, however they call it, and they're scraping the road. And if you go to Point now, it's action to bad. And we are saying, thank you. We invest with the dinner, but I'm saying, my car, and my wife's car, because I don't drive, right? She had to change about 6 tires over the period, shocks and so on. And that is just, and she's a private person. She wouldn't go from Point Fortin to San Fernando on a daily basis. I can imagine the plight of taxi drivers, commuters, persons who are applying their business and so on. The road is horrible. and we have not been able to address that properly. So that's a major issue. And it's a simple solution, and part of the reason why the roads are all over because of our utility lines. And we bury the lines in the ground. So when the line busts, as we say, the road has ended up in a state, and there's no coordination between WASA and the Ministry of Roads and Transport. So there needs to be coordination, but that's for another discussion. So roads is a big issue. The issue of maintenance of recreation facilities, the lack of community centers, the issue of down in Cedros and the Carcass, they have been talking about a T-shaped jetty to assist the fishermen in plying their trade easier access with the vessels and so on, having a proper cold storage facility, the restoration of the coconut estates and the whole agriculture industry down in that area, making services that are in Point Fortin accessible and readily stationed in that part of Trinidad and Tobago, Cedros and the Carcass, because it takes approximately from Point Fortin to the Carcass is approximately 45 minutes to an hour, and in doing that now, sometimes it's an inconvenience for residents to be traveling to Point to get simple things in. So that they are asking for a decentralization of services down there, and to ensure that people can make life a little easier for themselves. Yes? Another issue is the whole issue of how we access state funding. There's this issue, the issue of political victimization came very prominent on the campaign, where persons are saying that, listen, if you don't say you support the red, then you have nothing to get in terms of the short-term jobs, the grants and so on. That's what people have said. And many people have said it to us and have it on record. So I made a video about political victimization, and that state funds, and that's what it is, state funds. It's for everybody. Once there's a system to access, people ought to be able to access it again, fair and free from fear. Those are some of the issues. There's the issue of crime and violence. Crime is still there, but the issue of unemployment remains a central issue, and youth development remains two of those issues that continue to be, that we keep missing the boat for. And finally, the MSJ is saying that we want to make Point Fortin from a borough to a city. We have the highway coming, we have final destination town, and it's time that we do the necessary public education to ensure and prepare the public for the coming of that completion of that highway, and all of the benefits it's going to bring to our lovely constituency, the constituency of Fortin. Thank you very much.
Is it? Yeah, just a launch.